That's bad.
Alright, let's get back to work on the Starfire. Let's get back to work on this unit. So I haven't touched this thing since whenever the last video was on it. Was that like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago maybe? Had parts show up for the LS Fiero and the RX-7, so I got distracted with those. And still have a big hole in the firewall there. I've got the block off plates for that. I just need to seal that one up more because there's all these openings where the heater and everything went through, and all that's gone now. One of these days I'll get it back on the scales and check it out. But it occurred to me that I have never checked the plugs in this thing. So I wanted to go through and look at least a few of them and get like a general health check on the engine. It seems to be running pretty good though. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the motor or anything like that. I think the spark plugs are probably one of the best tools to figure out what's going on in the cylinder. So I figure I'll pull at least a couple out on each side and get an idea. Probably just the easier ones. If I'm feeling froggy, I'll pull the rest of them out. This side I don't think would be too bad, but that side by the steering column, behind the brake booster, might be a little bit of a pain. So yeah, we'll pull a couple of those out real quick and see how it's doing.
So something you can do that's basically free if you have like some scrap wood laying around is take a piece and number them and then drill 8 holes to set the spark plugs in. That way you can help keep track of what cylinder they came out of. Holy fuck. Some people ramrod these things in. Holy. Wow, that one is very wet. And it has a huge gap. Jesus. I don't know how the fuck you check that one. Alright, so the number 1 plug, without taking the header off, is going to be impossible to get out. So for now, we're going to ignore that one. Let's see if we can get number 5 out. This car's kind of packaged tight. This is another one, man. That, there ain't no way. Holy fuck. I think both of these back two. Yeah, there's no freaking way. Alright, we'll throw you back on. Ain't no way in hell. Alright, this side looks a little bit more manageable. I think I cracked it loose. Hey, there we go. Yeah, that one's... At least it's not dripping wet. But it's still pretty black. Yeah, this side's much easier to get to. That one's not awful. Slightly carbon, but not horrendous. How's this one? That one's pretty wet. You know what? We got 4 of them out. You know, 50%'s good enough, right?
Yeah, 50%'s good enough. So you can see there, it looks like they were starting to clean up, but yeah, you can see how wet those two are, 3 and 6. And that one's real sooty. Interesting. At least on all of these ones, the entire plug is there, and part of it's not like melted off or flaking or anything like that, you know? So I think that just kind of helps confirm that the engine's probably okay, just a touch fat. All right, got the plugs all back in, that's all good. Let me grab these real quick. I was coming back here looking at the wiring for the tail lights, and it's not that great. They've got this regular taillight harness. That's fine, that's fine. And then there's also this harness, that just has the 2 wires coming through there, and it's more twist connect stuff, and the bulbs are just laying here. So I think I'm just going to cut the tails from the harnesses and pull all that stuff out and just run new wires. Because on this thing, for the foreseeable future, all I need is just tail lights. Eventually I'll hook up a brake light again, but for now, I mean, I doubt it even works. It might. I'll have to look back at the video. If it did, it doesn't now because I've cut all the stuff out of the front. But I think for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the tail lights into the switch that is going to turn the headlights on, and just have that all on its own circuit. And then down the road, I can hook up the brake lights. Alright, this is looking a lot cleaner in here. Eventually, I think I'll probably brush on some black paint just to clean it up a little bit more. There's an excessive amount of battery cable. I thought this was the positive here at first, bolted together, just flopping around, but luckily it's the ground, so that is perfectly safe. If anything, it'll help it ground more, I guess. I don't know, the grounds tie together. I don't know where they go under the body. I'm assuming they'll just bolt to the chassis somewhere. Both positives. This positive's not too bad. Like, I could live with that. Probably put it up here so it's not on a sharp edge or anything. This one's excessively long for what it is. Just fine, I guess. Here, we'll do one of those. There. Here is the main battery power up to the starter. We're going to put the circuit breaker back in here. So we'll probably just cut this in half, I guess. And then I noticed this wire here that you can't see. That wire right there, I'm pretty sure goes to the fuel pump. And I was going to pull it out because I'm just going to run a whole new wire. That way I know it's a good wire. And I'm glad that I did, because once I started pulling on it, I could see that guy right there wiggling. And fuel pump wire was just twisted together. I'm pretty sure it's a fuel pump wire. I don't know what else. Here, let me. Yeah, it's pulling the fuel pump wire up there. So, yeah. Comes down here where it feels like it's twisted together 2 more times. That's good. That's fine. Oh, they don't even tie together. They each just bolt to. Okay, I thought that the grounds crossed over for some reason, but nope. They just come down here and bolt on each side of the chassis. So, golly, look at, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hose clamps on this much fuel line. You know, you can get like a 10 AN to 3/8 reducer. Like, you don't have to do this. They're only a few bucks. You know, whatever. Yeah, I found a walnut in the frame. How the fuck did they get that in there? That's in there forever. I don't care. And then, oh, so that must be what that other line is. Right? They have that other rubber one going all the way up to the front and then just blocked off. Instead of just capping it off right here at the tank, they're running this one all the way to the front. And then blocking it off. That can't be right. Yeah, they're running, so this is the return. Or it would have been the return. I'm pretty sure. Look, I know I do like weird and questionable things sometimes, but that one I just don't understand. Like, why are you gonna have 10 feet of hose when you could just cut it off back here and block it off back here? Like, you could put the bolt and the clamp on it here. You don't need... Why? Why? I don't get it, dude. Stuff like that frustrates me because I just don't... Anyway, moving on. We, at least now we know what that actually goes to because I wasn't sure. And I kept cutting my hands on the zip tie that's holding it folded over. Whatever. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this fucking thing out of here. Alright, so I did decide to put the switch panel up here. It's just zip tied for now. So we're going to start running the wires. There's going to be at least 5 wires. Because I've got ignition, fuel pump, fan, lights, and then this is the starter. And then this one, undetermined yet. But it'll be easy. Well, actually no, because I'm going to have the ground and the main power wire here too. So this one is going to come down and connect to this main terminal. And then this ground I can just zip wherever. I might run it down and connect it to this bus here. And then the rest of them, all of these are feeding. So I just need to run the wire from this to the relay and then from the relay out. Alright, got the wire all loomed up and zip tied out of the way, and it's all down here, so I just need to terminate the ends and put the connectors on, hook them up. That ain't no big thing. I ran all the wires, so let's see. The starter wire is white, and these are all going to go through the relays, or at least the first 4 are going to go through the relays. So the starter wire is white, the ignition wire is red, fuel pump is blue, fan is green, lights are yellow, and the last open accessory wire or accessory switch is a black wire. So I did do a separate color for all of them, which is nice, makes it a little bit easier to keep track of things. So yeah, like I said, I just need to, there you go, now you can see them. So yeah, like I said, I just need to cut them to the proper length and then crimp the ends on, and those are good. And then from there, it's just the wires out of the relay to whatever they're going to, like the starter, the ignition, the lights, the fan, fuel pump, and that's kind of it. I guess I could use that last accessory switch for the line lock, I don't really need it though. This thing did a pretty good burnout on its own. So I think I'm gonna try to get those all ran real quick, and then I'll turn the camera back on. Wiring videos are just kind of boring, I think. But I know a lot of you guys like this car, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep it forever, so I figured if one of you guys end up buying it down the road, at least you'll be that little bit more familiar with it, Alright, I got the car 95% of the way wired up. Figured I'd give you guys a quick little progress report. There you can see all the wires ran. They're pretty well color coordinated. White, red, blue, green, white, red, blue, green. Inputs and outputs all match. The only thing stopping it from actually firing up right now is the main battery wire to this, the fuses, and the ground. If I hook those up and hit the switches, the thing should fire up. What do you think? Is it good?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Cool. And then the only thing left for like the total wiring, I have to connect the wires at the fan, but those I'm not sure which way it needs to be hooked up, so I'm probably just going to put those on spade connectors so I can go one way or another. And then just the tack and auxiliary gauges I need to get still that I forgot about. Right here's the wire for the tack. And then I think we're all good. And tail lights. Alright, it is... I'm not wearing a watch. It's pretty late. And I've got, I'm pretty sure, all of the wiring done in the car except for the wiring for the fan, because I haven't tested to see which way it needs to be hooked up, because freaking electrical motors can spin either way. Whatever genius thought of that. And truth be told, these wires are so like here's a joint, here's a joint, here's a joint, here's where I cut it where it was twisted together, here's a joint, roll it up and smoke it. But yeah, believe it or not, all the wiring is ran to everything. Here's the power wire for the fan. The wire for the fan and the lights comes through here, which is a little dangly, but I'll tighten that up in a bit. The main battery wire to the alternator is ran. Ignition's ran. Starter wire is ran. Got the wire for the tack going in. We're looking pretty good. I got the circuit breaker right here. That way it's real close to the batteries. I was initially going to put it up by the circuit board, and then it's like, well, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. Because like, if there's something happening in this long 35-foot stretch of cable, that's not going to stop it from coming back to the batteries, because it's up there. So now if anything happens, it'll pop this, kill the batteries, we're good. Let me show you the relay board. It's not the prettiest once I started running the wires, but we're still looking pretty good. Everything's nice and easy to see. Yeah, I got the yellow for the lights and the green for the fan running through that grommet, so the firewall will be sealed. But then we get back to the starter cable here. I need to redo that, but I just don't want to crawl under the car right now to take the cable off, so I can put a grommet there. And then the rest of the wires are running through there to get to like the ignition and to the alternator, stuff like that. Here's the fuel pump wire, ran a new one. I don't remember if I showed you guys that or not. Drilled a new hole and put an actual grommet on it so it won't fray itself and short out or anything. I rerouted some of the battery cables so everything looks a lot neater back here too. So it's super light, and my kid's bedroom's like 20 feet on the other side of that window. So I'm not going to start the car, but I think we can at least go through and check some stuff and make sure that I'm not going to burn the thing down, because that would be pretty heartbreaking. Let's turn the power on, see if anything starts smoking. So far, so good. Forgot to put fuses in the fuse block. Now we got some fuses. So, let's watch up here, see if any of those pop immediately. If they do, we did something wrong. Alright, so far so good. This thing's still cool. Alright. Fuel pump? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got lights. Hell yeah. Alright, let's check crank. Yeah. Alright. Man, I want to start this thing so bad, but it's so late. I'm just happy that it's turnkey again. And, you know, to be honest, I think it turned out pretty good. I need to get the oil pressure gauge back on it and water temp, stuff like that. And because right now the oil pressure line at the back of the block is just snipped, so I don't think I rolled it over enough to blow any oil out. But all right, this was a long day, but long time coming too. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to support the channel, first link in the description below is merch, t-shirts, hoodies, stickers. I think the stickers are probably the best thing. Yeah, all the money from that goes right back into the cars. Coming up, we've got a lot of stuff planned for Jack Black. Yeah, eventually, now that this thing moves, when that's ready to bring it over here for something special, I can move this thing out of the way. We've got one part sitting over there for it. Another part, most of it showed up yesterday, I think, for the truck. We're waiting on one more big piece to that puzzle, and then we'll bring it over here and get that done, rescale the truck. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for clicking that bell and getting the notifications for the videos. It all really helps out everything. I'll see you in the next one.